Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of In the Wrong Bed podcast. I am your host, Justin Weigler, and as always with me is Jonathan Sokol. And today we're going to be talking about, reviewing the Premier League final that just caught up, as well as the most recent European Darts Open Euro Tour event, and then look forward to the Nordic Darts Masters this weekend, which is an unranking event, but they're always kind of fun anyways. So, Jonathan, thoughts on the Premier League, Luke over Luke? Not the Luke anyone thought, but it's still Luke.
Well, I mean, one of my takes coming out of this is that I do think Luke Humphries is now playing better than Luke Littler the last couple months. So he's kind of put together a 3-month run that might actually be better than Littler. We wouldn't have said that early on in Premier League when Littler was throwing out, seemed like a 105 average every time out there. And but by the end, just based on some of the Euro Tour performance and the Premier League performance, I'm beginning to feel like Humphries is kind of in the pole position as best player of the moment, at least.
I mean, it's tough to argue that. I mean, he is playing better than him in a lot of respects. His numbers actually, I think, are slightly better than him over the last few months as well. So I would it's one of those things, though. Do you, like, they play each other? Who do you take as a favorite? Are you taking Humphries right now? Maybe.
Yeah, not as a favorite. I wouldn't want to bet him as a favorite. No way. But if
you think he's better, than Luke Littler, he should be the favorite.
Yeah, I agree. But there's no way if they played each other again right now, I think you'd still be getting like plus 140, plus 150 on Humphries.
No, I think you would be. I
agree. And I actually would like that bet. I
agree. I would like Humphries at a plus 150 against, frankly, anybody. If you're getting plus money with Luke Humphries, I think you just have to take it. I'm not sure I care who you play. Yeah. He's just too good, and right now he's just in form.
But if I was making the line, I would definitely put it way more closer to even for a matchup between them.
But at some level, the better shape the lines, right? Like if I would be very happy if I'm the book putting that line out at something like minus 130 plus 110 in favor of Littler.
Yes,
and let everyone take Littler and think Humphries is going to come through on that. Let him bet up the favorite.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would place it. And I'm not sure where we had it simulated for the Premier League final, but
I think our values actually showed Humphries.
Yeah, showed very slightly. Yeah, I think we had his fair line maybe at like the fair line of Humphries minus 105, something like that. So
yeah, it was close to even, if I remember right. It was very close to even.
But a lot of that's because he's just been a little more consistent recently, I would say.
So. Weird to think that, but I agree. Like Lillard's been, he'll throw out obviously what he did to Humphries the week before in the Premier League, when they had just an amazing match. Each of them threw like over 110, I think. But but sometimes Luke just throws out the odd, which seems terrible for him. He throws out like a 95. And we're like, oh my God, this guy's terrible. What's happened? What's happened to him? It's just we're just used to him being so high. But Humphries has just been, his variance, I guess, has been less than Littler's has been.
Yeah, I was starting to get the feeling like Littler also would play really well in the first round and then kind of taper off after that.
He was behind.
He's coming out of the gate a bit hot. Well, yeah, this in the final, you're right, he was.
No, I mean, even against Gerwin Price, he was down 6-4.
Yeah. It wasn't looking good. It was looking. Gerwin has been a bit of a Luke beater in the past, and so I thought that was going to continue as that match was starting out. But Littler kind of really
after the
turned
break,
it on.
Littler just said, "F this." Going for, and he went 5-1 after the break.
And I remember having both Luke's minus 2.5 and then both the scores coming out
10-7. Yes. Sometimes people know what they're doing. I mean, I thought Aspinall actually played really well that match against Humphries. I think Humphries was a little too much, but Humphries was definitely had to play his A game to get through that. And he
Oh,
knew
yeah.
it. And he was under pressure a lot. Like, so full credit to Aspinall for, playing well. And both him and Price, which was funny because at the beginning of the year, they're like, these two guys shouldn't be in it. And they were the two that that ended up in the finals, in the semifinals. So kudos to them on that. Going to the Euro Darts Open this past weekend, that saw Asp actually win that, like over Damon Hedda, which, poor Damon just can't get over on one of these things. And he played well throughout. I thought he was really good.
Surprisingly consistent up until the end match. He just couldn't keep up with Asp, but that was good to see from him, because normally he just will be one match great, one match bad. Maybe
or
two matches great.
He'll get through. He'll get through the third round. He'll get through the third round and just bottle it.
Yeah.
Like, and it'll just like all of a sudden his doubles aren't hitting, even though he's one of the best double hitters in the world. Like, all of a sudden he just starts missing them, and you're just like, or he just stops scoring. It's weird what happens to him. He hasn't just put it together yet. But I thought this was a great showing for him, and he probably should get. He's got to get one of these soon. I think he's got to get a Euro Tour soon, I would say. Like, I keep waiting for him to bet, because I bet on him for a while, and I was like, man, he's just never doing it. So I stopped betting on him.
Me too.
And now he's finally getting close. It might be time to look and see if there's value on him again.
Yeah, I was a very cautious Hedda better lately, just because I just felt like any time out, you didn't feel like you knew what you were getting from him. So now I'm feeling a little better.
I thought his best match was actually against Harrison in the quarters.
Yeah, that one was pretty close, and he had to really dig deep to pull it out.
I mean, he had he didn't break till no one had any breaks until he broke in leg 9.
Yeah.
And then he finished him off in leg 10, but there was just pressure all the time. They just both happened to, they were hitting their doubles. They were scoring good enough. And they just couldn't get an edge on one another until he finally broke in that last leg, or second to last leg.
Yeah.
But I thought great tournament from him. Great tournament, obviously, from Asp. But encouraging from him. Also a great tournament from Johnny Clayton.
Oh, man. Continues to play really, really well right now.
Like, I think he's back. I think he's back
level right now. This was actually something I was going to ask you once we finish up the Euro Open conversation. But who are the people that you think might replace someone in Premier League for next year?
That's interesting.
You got to think about Johnny Clayton at this point, just based on how he's playing so far this year.
You know what, though? Unfortunately, this is very much it's a good analogy. Like it's like getting into the NCAA tournament as a bubble team. It's not almost what you did at the beginning of the year. It's what you did for me the last half of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So if he's playing like this the last half of the year, yes. If he's not, then probably not.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on what he does the second half. If he has a good major season, if he has Grand Slam, Grand Prix, and World Championship, if he has a good one of those, then I think you probably have to consider him.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I almost feel like if you have a bad World Championship, unless you're one of the top 4 guys, it's tough to actually.
This is what happened to Mike DeDecker.
I know, exactly. It's like you're set up right there. All you need to do is have a decent World Championship. You're in the Premier League, and you won't make it if you kind of lose in the first or second round there.
Yeah, and DeDecker's just a perfect example of he wins the World Grand Prix, right? Looks amazing, and then does absolutely nothing afterwards.
Yeah.
And they wanted, I have a feeling like they kind of wanted to put him in. I think he lost the first round of his Worlds too. And he was just like, you've shown, like, I don't think he got through the Grand Slam group. He didn't win his match at Worlds, or if he did, he won his early round match, and that's it. Like, he just didn't show enough at the second half and just got passed. And that's what happens. Although, I mean, to go back to who I'd like to see, I'd love to see someone like Dirk van Dijvenbode continue having a good year.
Oh yeah.
and maybe pull out. If he can pull out a major, he's in. If he wins a major, he's in, because everyone likes watching him throw. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of like, can he put it together for long enough? And
Yeah,
if he
he would
pulls off a
be
major, I think he's in.
a really interesting one. Wessel Nyman's playing well enough where he's at least getting deep in some of these Euro tournaments, where in the past it seemed like he was destined to be out early, despite seeming like he has the skill to do it. He was losing 5-6 like all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Finally, I think he's getting a little bit of seasoning and actually pulling out some of the close matches and getting.
Yeah, he did against Peter Wright, although he didn't deserve to win that match. But it was. You know who's actually getting westled right now is Jan Van Veen.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to see him in the Premier League.
I know. People are saying. I mean, if you look at the stats, he has had a pretty high opponent average against him.
It's absurd. It's absurd. He's been going up against like 105 pluses, like in something like 5 of his last 6 Euro Tour matches, and losing in the first round. And it's just like, where is this coming from? Like his opponents are just gearing up for him. And so I don't know, but I'd love to see him in the Premier League. He's great to watch.
Yeah. So coming off of a tournament in Germany, any of the Germans, would they ever have enough to make it into the Premier League next year? You get Schindler, Pikachu. Pikachu's way too far off, I would say. And
yeah, I'd say it's
little Nico Springer has a great run.
Now, you know what? I mean, as much as you like Nico's kind of like in Wessel territory last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everyone's going to be talking about him for good reason, but he's just not there yet. And I don't see him. I mean, you can't blow, match starts like that when you have it. You got to come through.
I know.
Which that hurt us this weekend. That was not a fun loss. That was a gut-wrenching loss, honestly, being a big dog like that to lose. But I don't think he's quite there yet. But I do think Jan Van Veen, if he can pull through some quality output, and can win a major or at least come close, I think he might get in.
I think that would be pretty cool. He definitely is on the level where you could easily see him in the Premier League. So
yeah, and he's great to watch. And for that, the one that I think is going to be surprise everyone at the end of the year that it's going to be included, that most people think, I think, is Damon Hedda.
Oh,
I think he's getting close. Like he was kind of close last year. He was like 8th ranked, 9th ranked, something like that.
Yeah,
and didn't get in. But he just got invited to the U.S. Masters, and that's usually a sign of like people like watching you play. And so I think that's going to be a stepping stone for him if he can pull out a Euro Tour and do well in some majors. That I think he'll get picked next year.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he actually would be a great choice for next year. So I'm hoping he plays well. A few more performances like he just pulled off. Needs to get a win, a few wins. Maybe.
Yeah, you got to get something better than I think New Zealand Masters or whatever. Yeah, like you do. Yeah. But this is the like Dave Chisnell on the he's always like the number 3 and 4 on the Euro Tour because he does so well on the Pro Tour. Yeah. But then he gets into a major and he craps himself. So it's kind of like until you start doing it in the big tournaments, it's just not, you can't, it's tough to justify when there's so many good players that are deserving of being in the Premier League at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so let's look right ahead now. This weekend's Nordic Darts Masters. This is obviously a non-ranked event as the Masters is invite only for the 8 PDC players, but the qualifiers this time are Jeffrey DeGraff, Core Decker, Andreas Harrison, who had a fantastic tournament, by the way.
He did. Played really well.
He played really, really well. I mean, we mentioned that match against Hedda, but he's the one. Didn't he blow? Who did he blow off the board with the 106? Michael Smith. He just absolutely trucked him.
I know.
Matters Rasma was not in particularly great recently. Benjamin Royce, Victor Tingstrom, Oscar Lukasiak, and Darius Lemonauskas round out the 8 for the Nordic Darts Masters. You see any upsets in this?
The ones that I think can pull off the upset, definitely Harrison against Cross. Cross hasn't felt like he's playing that well lately. We just saw some really good play from Dirty Harry, so that's one I would look at.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeffrey DeGraff is always kind of primed to upset one of the top players. I think he has a level, mid 90s level that he can achieve and actually get a win. And Dobie is playing really well, though, but Dobie also has been known to blow some matches. So,
yeah, especially if his doubles aren't hitting.
Yeah, exactly. The scoring is always there. It feels like he's just like he's finding the triple 20 over and over against. This was the Nico Springer match from the Euro Tour? Yeah, this last weekend where Dobie's scoring was great, and early on he was missing his doubles, was found just enough to take care of Nico. But
yeah, and I kind of agree. If he plays like he did against Nico Springer, he'll lose. He will lose to DeGraff because DeGraff can't take advantage, and his scoring's good enough to kind of keep him in it. Now, the issue is going to be in that match is, he's not going to keep up with Dobie's scoring. The question is, does Dobie hit his doubles? If Dobie hits his doubles, this is like 6-3, 6-2.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If he doesn't hit his doubles, DeGraff could absolutely take advantage because he shouldn't be that far behind. He'll be behind in the scoring, but he won't be, if he starts taking out, 108s, 104s, in 15 because Dobie keeps missing, because Dobie misses, then I can see him hanging in it. So yeah, I kind of agree. DeGraff could upset Dobie. And Harrison could definitely be Cross, like the way, if he keeps playing like he is, like he's been the last week, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he beat Rob Cross.
Yeah, that's really the only ones I like in terms of the dog.
I have a real tough time seeing Core Decker coming being Gerwin Price.
No,
that's a hard pass for me.
Yeah,
Matters Rasma, he just hasn't been playing well recently.
Yeah,
I'd say give Matters a fair shot. It's
against anyone, really. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he's going against Humphreys. But
yeah, so I just don't. I don't see that happening. I just don't. I can't see him the way he's playing right now. Even like this feels like 6-2, 6-3 to me. Like Humphreys is just too good, and Humphreys doesn't seem to let up in these. Like sometimes I think Luke Littler just aims to play his B game, get through the first round, and save it for the next day of the Masters when he's got to play 3 against good people. That he just intentionally plays his B game. But Humphreys isn't like that.
Yeah,
he just kind of goes out and plays.
So the Littler match is the only one carrying a 3.5 leg spread at the moment, with the rest at 2.5 legs. So as far as the spread bets go, are you liking most of those favorites?
I like. It's tough to say because my first thought is 2.5 kind of sucks. If you win bull, I like the favorites. If you don't win bull, not so sure. I really like Gerwin Price over Core Decker at -2.5. I don't think that's a problem. I actually like if there's a 3.5 out there, I probably would take the 3.5 at plus money with Gerwin Price.
Yeah, Core Decker should not be able to keep up, and Price has been playing really well also. So I like that one a lot, actually.
Yeah, I do too. So if I could find a 3.5 out there at something like plus 120, I would take Gerwin Price at the 3.5. Even 2.5 -150, I still like him. I just don't like it as much. I think he'll probably, odds are he'll win the bull, but it's probably at best 60-40 that he wins the bull and makes the 2.5 basically a 1.5. So the other spreads, I can see DeGraff hanging around at plus 2.5, maybe hanging around Chris Dobie if Dobie doesn't hit his doubles. I can absolutely see that happening. Littler and Tingstrom at 3.5. Ugh. The only problem is Luke plays his B game sometimes and doesn't care, and you can see a 6-3 or something weird like that happening.
I know. Yeah, I would be worried about the 6-3 happening on that match. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to the plus 2.5s on DeGraff and Harrison, like we talked about before.
Bunting over Lukasiak. 2.5. I like.
I think he crushes him. Yeah,
I think he probably beats him 6-2.
Yeah, and the Clayton against Labanauskas, we didn't talk Labanauskas, but he's a very competent dog here. But just because Clayton has been playing so well, I didn't like that.
I kind of agree. I think that the only so I'm of two minds on this. One, Labanauskas is competent, and Clayton's rarely scores so well that he's so far ahead in a leg.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so that means Labanauskas can keep up can theoretically keep up if his scoring keeps
Clayton's
up.
hitting a lot of
but he was hitting
140s.
Man, he was pounding like the 140s and 180s though. Like that match against Wanamina, he had 7 in the 180s in the first 4 legs. That's insane for him.
Yeah,
he's kind of king of the 140.
I feel like that was the best match of the weekend. That one actually.
That one was a great match.
It's really good.
They were just throwing it like out there the whole time.
Yeah,
like they really were.
It was 7 each.
14. They had 14 180s in the first 8 legs. That's absolutely unheard of.
Yeah.
Even like Littler doesn't usually, like Littler plus Humphreys doesn't hit that level.
Yeah.
Like that was just an incredible level to see. And it's not like they were hitting 180s or 60. They were hitting 180s or 140s. Like it's not like they were hitting a bunch of 2 treble visits too. It was really impressive to watch, actually.
It was. That was such a fun match.
But back to Labanauskas, doesn't keep up. I think Clayton's just playing so well at this point.
I know.
Like I just find it hard that if Johnny keeps popping in 140s like consistently, like he's doing, and the occasional 180s, like I think Labanauskas is just in real trouble.
I definitely agree. I'm not sure if I want to bet that -2.5, but that I would lean that way for over betting on Labanauskas.
If you had a 1.5 at a reasonable price, I'd be over that all day.
All over it, yeah, exactly.
The 2.5 is a little bit tougher, but I do like Clayton to come through this match though. So maybe this is just a money line. You suck it up at the -300, 320 or whatever he's at, and just bet the money line, thinking there's value there. Because I think he beats Labanauskas probably 6 out of 7 times.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I mean that's why I absolutely love the money line here. But if there's a 1.5 at -175 or something like that, I probably would take that even over the 2.5. But the 2.5 at like say plus 110 is enticing, just getting the plus money.
It is, and that's certainly an outcome I could see happening. So I
could see 6-2 happening too.
Yeah,
he plays like he was playing most of those matches in the Euro Darts Open. 6-2 is, I would say, is likely.
Yeah. Did you have a chance to look at the future prices and see anything that you liked there?
No, I did not. I'd be interested to see what they are, though. Do you have them?
Yeah, I did take a look, so I can share a couple of the ones I like.
Yeah, what was the?
So as far as the major long shots, Harrison plus 6,600. Don't mind that too much because, as we saw, he's got the game.
He could beat Rob Cross.
Get to a couple, beat a couple people, but. Problem is he has to beat multiple very good people likely in a row, and it's probably not going to happen.
That's also the problem with these tournaments. I mean, especially the Masters tournaments, is that once you get to the last 8, they're all really good people. Usually, you might get one upset in there, And that's where you're hoping, where you're hoping the value a lot of these futures are, is that you think there's going to be an upset from one of the local candidates over someone, and that makes it an easier second round match for who you like.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the value I think comes in these Masters events. But I didn't see who
he'd be
would he play
facing
after?
Dobie DeGraff winner. So that one is the one that
That's
could
the
be
one
an
that could.
upset.
Yeah, if you think that's actually a really good point. If you think these are the two that could pull off an upset, and then they each face each other in a second, it's like a 13 versus a 12 in the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah.
If you think they could both pull upsets, now all of a sudden one of those teams are going to get to the Sweet 16. And so if you think, okay, one of these guys can get to the semifinals that way by putting one upset and then being level with someone else, or even being a slight favorite, which I think Harrison would be a favorite over DeGraff.
Yeah. But then
that's where it comes in. That's where I think you could do it.
Oh, he would. And even though actually the odds for DeGraff are 40-1 compared to the 66-1 for Harrison. It's kind of interesting.
I definitely like Harrison better at the 66.
Me too. But there's almost in the semifinals, it's almost a guarantee though that they're facing like a Gerwin or Luke Humphreys. I mean, Core Decker's not making it.
No.
Matters Rasma, the way he's playing.
Probably not.
He doesn't make it past Humphreys most likely. And then,
you're gonna find someone great in the semifinals. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just you're gonna be a big dog. You're gonna be a plus 300 at least in the semifinals and the finals.
And if you're sitting on 66-1, it's still not that easy. Even if you thought, well, I can lay off and hedge a little bit, but you're wasting too much of that money if you have to hedge semifinals and finals. Probably.
I mean, that's where I'm saying you're better off paying just a lower amount then.
Yeah.
And just knowing that you're not going to hedge and live with it.
Try to ride it. Yeah.
Try to ride it into the finals, like instead of, putting what you would usually put on a future, like that, put, 25% of what you would put and just hope that you ride it out and hope it actually goes through if you think there's value there.
Yep.
Yeah. Lukasiak, Decker, Kingstrom, Royce don't have a shot.
Nope. Wouldn't touch any of that.
Labanauskas. I don't think so.
Yeah, most likely a no for me. But I mean, could he get to the semifinals? Yes.
Of all the long shots, I would say it's Harrison.
Yeah.
He's proven that at least his highest game can keep up.
Yeah, exactly. Like that 106 last week. And I mean, he can be consistently throwing out close to 100 average for certain stretches. So
yeah, he's proven even when he was playing in Modus.
Yeah,
and winning Modus. I mean, he won one of the series.
Yeah,
he was winning with 9. I mean, I know it's first to fours, but he was winning with mid 90s, high 90s averages, quite a bit. So his game can get there, and that's kind of and to be an upset in a tournament. And also, this is a small field. It's still only 16 people. You just need to play well for 4 matches.
Yeah,
he could do that for 4 matches. He could play in the high 90s.
Yeah, it's
still a capability.
Exactly. That's the thing with these Master fields. You only need to win, 4 times in a row. That's it. It's small tourney.
So do you think he can, especially if he can get by Cross, and if DeGraff happens to upset Dobie, that's a real chance then.
Yeah.
Because now at that point, you really got to be an underdog in 2 matches. 2 more matches.
Yeah.
Do you think he has more than 1.5% chance of winning it?
Yeah,
I mean, that's your 6,600, right?
Right.
Maybe
feels like
of all the long shots, that's the one I like the
that.
best.
Yeah,
that's the one I like the best. I can also see Clayton at plus 1,200.
Yep.
Absolutely,
exactly.
Doing
looking
this.
At that one.
That's probably the one I might actually bet on.
Yeah, guaranteed bet really for me. Yeah, I just feels like that's what 8.5% there. I think he's got a real good shot to win this. He'll have to take on Bunting in the second round.
Bunting's beatable though recently.
Yeah, for sure. And then then he's looking at Luke or Asp most likely in the semis. But
Yeah,
he could certainly do this. I actually like that a lot. And then for me, it's Humphreys plus 350. I just think, like I was saying, I think he's playing the best right now and still getting a decent. I think those odds are probably still not a value bet, but
probably not. I think
because
he's
they just
probably
get
not
so
like
low
right.
with the Littler and Humphreys. But I mean, who are you going to take? Humphreys plus 350 or Littler plus 140? I'm still shocked that the Littler odds are
140 is
so
so
low.
low.
And
But
that's
that's
insane.
yeah. But you know what? I think it's a Luke tax.
Yeah.
You're getting that someone with Humphreys too. You're getting a
Yeah.
Luke tax,
Yeah.
and with Littler, you 100% are. Like he shouldn't be. I mean, I know it's a 16-person tournament, but you still got to play 3 quality people. Most likely.
I know. That's not even fun. Like to win plus 140 for winning a whole
140.
tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
this
rough.
is that's not only not fun. I'm not. There's just no value there.
Absolutely no
Like
value.
his fair value probably should be about 250.
Yeah,
somewhere between 2 and 250, probably 250.
I think he's 30% chance to win.
Yeah, about
like
30% chance to win. I would say this tournament. Like, but 140, then no, that's just way too short of odds.
Yeah, I am shocked. Bunting 11-1 versus Clayton 12-1. I would have.
Yeah, I think I
would have Clayton lower.
You know, we were on Clayton this weekend. I don't
Yeah.
think Clayton they've caught up to Clayton yet.
No, I think he's still representing some value there. I mean, even Asp at 14-1. We just saw.
Wow.
I know.
He came in 4th in the Premier League, and he just won the Euro Tour. Like this guy's playing really good darts right now.
He has to get over beating Littler, but
I mean that's the problem. He rarely ever beats him.
So
yeah, I think that's
why he's
it's 14-1.
Yeah, higher than a few of these other guys.
Yeah, agreed. But I Clayton at 12, definitely on that. That's my pick to win.
I like it too.
Yeah,
I think that is my favorite.
My favorite. So out of all of them. Awesome. Any last thoughts on this one?
No, I'm excited to have a Masters event. Then it's just been a good stretch. A lot of tournaments in a row, and World Cup I think is following.
Yeah, a couple weeks away. So the World Cup's always a fun tournament. I always think it should be longer than this, but it's only 4 days.
Yeah, having the Lukes play with the, I haven't looked at the odds yet. God, I can't imagine them losing. I know that's
only to Wales, maybe Wales.
Yeah, Wales. Outside of the Lukes, Johnny and Gerwin, they've been playing right up there. I mean, with the best right now. They're
I can't.
I like
can't
that.
Imagine the Lukes lose. I want to see what the odds on this are whenever they come out, but it's probably like minus 200 at least for England.
Yeah. Do you know? Yeah. Do you know all the teams? I'm sure all the teams are set, right, at this point.
I think so. There's like 32 teams. I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
Or like 36 teams. There's a lot. There's a lot. Like
Germany is going to be Schindler and Pikachu for sure.
Is it? Yeah, I think so. Okay. I think that's their.
Yeah.
They could do damage. There's a handful of teams that could. I think Northern Ireland can do damage.
Yeah.
Between Rock and who's he playing with? Oh, Daryl Gurney. Like they could do. Gurney's been playing well recently.
Yeah, actually, Gurney's been on a little bit of a run, so that's going to be a tough out.
Yeah, I would not want to play a team that could score like that. Even if you're England, like, hey, doubles are fallible, but scoring usually stays. And if you can keep up the scoring, which Josh Rock can on his good days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, outside of those would be my top 3, I would say. I would say England, but a gap between them and Wales, and then Northern Ireland.
So here was one last thing, because I was thinking about this is, you have the two Lukes with England, but there's so many good English players. Would they ever entertain two English teams getting into the World Cup?
I don't
Or does
think
that just
so.
like go against the?
I think it just
kind of
goes again because you're gonna end up, what if
the
you end up with
novelty
an
of it.
England versus England final? It kind
Yeah.
of becomes a okay then
Not
England
fun.
1 versus
Yeah.
England 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
for
re-
years they actually thought about this with Canada in hockey was so good that Canada's B team could probably be the number 2 team in the tournament for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Like, and so everyone's thinking, well, why don't we put 2 Canadian teams in? It's like, well, because who wants to end up with Canada versus Canada final, right? And same thing, like it kind of takes the fun out of it. And you know what? If you want to be on the World Cup team, just be better than the Lukes.
That's pretty tough.
It's very tough. I mean, think about it. Like Rob Cross is your number 3.
I know.
Like Aspinall is your 4.
But what are they thinking? It's like they're never going to get a chance to play in the World Cup again for the next 20 years. Like,
I mean, hey, listen,
knows?
you know what?
Never say that.
You would have thought that with Adrian Lewis and back in the day too. You would have thought back in 2012 that him and Phil Taylor are like, no one's ever going to overtalk these 2 for England.
Yeah.
And Adrian Lewis just fell off. I mean, Taylor got old, but Adrian Lewis fell off the map. And then so that opened up those spots, So, I mean, yeah, maybe you never know. Darts, for whatever reason, is very fleeting in that respect. Some people just don't, Humphrey's up the top now, and I don't see him losing the next few years. But like, I also don't. You never say no. There could be someone up and coming.
Yeah,
that's just better, and that's just it. Like, I think it was Michael Smith and Luke Humphreys 2 years ago, and you would have thought these guys are the, to the world, not the
I know,
but yeah, and then you're like, oh wait.
What happened to
Here
Michael
comes
Smith?
the Littler.
I know.
Yeah, what happened
exactly.
to Michael Smith? For 2 years, he hasn't been playing good darts since his world championship. So,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, just because you're at the top now does not mean you will stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's great about darts is also what's tough. It's, golf's the same way.
It is different levels that can be achieved, but maintaining them, that's the really tough part. So Scheffler's kind of there right now.
Scheffler's there right now. Exactly. Like, you're not going to want to bend against him, but give it 2 years, see if that still holds. But on that note, it was good being with everybody. And for episode 13 of In the Wrong Bed podcast, Justin Weigler and Jonathan Sokol. So we will see everyone next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.